Okay, on with the show. So last time we made it through the first part of the underworld. We went through the Tower of Babel to up and down. Well, I guess down to up and then up to down, and just got the Falcon. So we are ready to go back to Dwarf Town and decide what to do next. That's really loud. There we go. And maybe lower that a little bit too. There we go. I went through the back way first, since yeah, the Pot of Life is a free heal. We don't have to waste time at the inn. I think we might get a full heal after the next segment or the next event anyway. But yeah, just showing off you can't actually cross the lava with the Falcon. Even though Red Wings quite clearly could to chase us out, but yeah. Oh well. So in the time that we left, the plan was to snatch the 7 crystals that Golbez has from the tower, and that was a dismal failure. The nurses and their girls. So yeah, we not only failed, we lost Yang, and we failed to recover the crystals. It was bad. It was all bad. So now we're trying to make our next move. Fortunately, we have a friend. How did it go? Yeah, I'd be afraid too. It's another fun instance too of the game pointing out that Golbez isn't omnipotent. It's like, yeah, dude is very strong. He has access to a lot of resources at his disposal. But yeah, he's having trouble with the fact that he says it's only a matter of time before he forces the door. Just makes me imagine that Golbez basically parked one of the Red Wings right in front of the sealed cave and is basically just blasting cannons at it. Oh, so we got the Luca key. The main forces of the enemy. So here's the thing. There are 3 caves in the underworld, and as I kind of made the joke about Cave Story in the title of this stream. And can't fly over magma. Where is that strange man? They kind of give it away that Sid somehow survived, blowing him, like throwing high explosives up into the air as it crash landed from a huge height above the ground. But that's Sid. You get one of the if the main point of this game is like love and revenge and all that stuff, tough old men is definitely the follow-up point. All right. I always love this stuff. Hospital food is the same everywhere. Yeah, we did not use the glitch to grab the dark crystal. We could have skipped the sealed cave completely, actually. How that works is that basically the game just checks to see if you have the crystal in your inventory. So if you use the warp spell from Rydia, you can go back into the crystal room, grab the crystal there, which I'm amazed that that's actually counted as a valid crystal there. You think the cutscene with the Golbez's hand, grabbing it would have removed it, but who is this little nuisance? Yeah, the Green Ranger you are not. A lot of the whole flirtatious playboy type character, very common archetype, and it's kind of interesting which ones play it straight, as it were, and which ones try to add a little depth to it. So like one of my favorite ones is in Fire Emblem, actually, where they have Sane, I think is his name. He's the secondary cavalier, because it's always, ever since Cain and Abel, in the first one, because they hadn't figured out subtlety back then. And his deal is that a lot of the ladies, so like it works on some of the girls, but some of them just don't like him because if he flirts with everybody, he doesn't mean it. And like, yeah, it's kind of, sometimes I go for that. Sometimes it's So basically, it depends on how the writers want to play it. In this case, pretty much everybody takes the opportunity to completely dump on Edge and just ignore the fact he's a prince. He gets absolutely no respect, and it's great. But hey, he comes through. I have no idea what this scene is supposed to be, but... Oh, not that scene, that little event there with the... you try to get away from the nurses, I guess. Well, whatever that was, it worked. And now you can fly over the magma. Like the little musical, the bad news chord there. But nope, just wore himself out. All right. So now we can move on to, like I was saying, now we can move on to the rest of the underworld, where we have 3 caves, and where I got started, before I got sidetracked with everybody picking on Edge last time. But yeah, basically we have the Cave of Summoned Monsters. We have the... let's see if we need to make a visit to Fatbird. How are we doing on this stuff? Oh, that's a lot. Okay. Well, I like keeping the claws handy to have Edge play around with them, but I just don't think it's going to be worth it. So, sell that. Sell those. We can buy more of those if we need to. Let's see. Did I... So I think I went that whole way without equipping Rydia's new armor. As you think Sid got better from being exploded. Yeah, seriously. There are a lot of ridiculous, contrived, escape from deaths. But Yang and Sid is ridiculous. Lorax with the Olympics report. Michael Phelps, gold number 20. Nice. Oh, it's worth hanging on to a Thunderclaw to use in Giant of Babil, Keen says. Okay. Yeah, in that case, I will go back and buy a couple from Fable next time we can. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. What monsters would you use that for in Babil? Is the CPU vulnerable to lightning? I guess yeah, we'll hold on to one of them as long as I've got room for it. We're obviously never going to get Edward back, unfortunately. Bandanas we're good with. Obsolete now. It's funny how monsters can drop stuff, that your characters can never actually use. And that one might work too. Supersize damage on the big enemies. Headband, Silver Gauntlet. We may want that. We're definitely not going to need that. Alright, and did Edge already have a Black Belt Gi? He does. One of the other guys want that then, maybe. Probably not, but 49 and 9, 45. So 4 points of damage in exchange for enough strength for 1 point of attack. Yes, definitely not worth it. So we'll sell that too. That's what everything in the Giant is weak to lightning, Keen points out. Those are all machine types. Only want to wield one because Edge needs a second weapon to make up for the lackluster attack. Right, exactly. So basically, a strongest sword in the primary hand, and then lightning to add the element, the Thunderclaw to add the element to it. Makes sense to me. I don't think I've ever tried that, but I think it's definitely worth a try. Unfortunately, that means we're gonna have to put Edge in the front row. But that was gonna happen eventually anyway. All right, so let's sort this again, and so here's my question, especially for those of you that have played the game before: which do we head to first? Do we go to the sealed cave like we're supposed to? Do we hit Summon Monster or Sylph Cave, even though I don't think Rosa has... Oh, she does have Float. She does have Float, so I can do any of the 3 right now. So I'm going to let you all decide that while I head over to, I think... Okay. Black Lizards. So I'm going to let you all decide that while I head over to... Tamra, I think the name was. Let's see. Yeah. No, No, she will be able to take care of that with a... he doesn't have his Blizzard Spirit poke. That's right, that's why. So 1 bit of that. That should take care of that. The difference is, if you haven't played the game, are the Summon Monsters Cave leads to where Rydia was. You don't want to run the side dungeons without Keen for jump damage and survivability. That's true. So Sealed Cave last, you're thinking, right? Yep. That's something I tend to agree with. I tend to do Sealed... Basically, what I usually do is I do Sealed Cave up to... this isn't it. We will remember this. We'll be back here later. I usually go to Sealed Cave enough to get the Light Sword, usually. And then head back. Because Rose has X at this point, so just a little bit out of your way. The Diamond Armor is, I think, good for... Excuse you? Hey, I just want to say lolly-ho. I hear it's hi-ho, which I have no idea what that was originally either. What happened at the castle? Keen likes to run the cave to summon monsters first. Enemies are easier. I always thought the enemies were the hardest in summon monsters. I guess it's all relative, though. And Self Cave is a real pain. But never thought of going straight for the Light Sword. Yeah, I figured giving Cecil a bonus against Holy, or a bonus with Holy weapons before Selfs are afraid. But not with a Legend Sword, since it's a little underpowered on damage at this point. That's true. The Sulf has the Marlborough's Moorballs. Yeah, those are... Oh, yeah. Wow, a customer. Let's see. We can buy another Whip, Ogre, Archer Bow. None of the stuff is new. Mute Arrows are good because those are super effective against mages, which are very common in a couple of these dungeons. Let's see. We could buy another Middle Sword, but we're keeping Edge in the back for now. His HP still hasn't caught up enough to justify having him hang with the big boys. Alright, speaking of... Okay, so I believe that Diamond is strong against lightning. I don't know if it's coded for that. Let's see. 4,000... No. Let's see how that compares to the rune bracelet. So I don't actually remember. That's 28, 25. 29, 25. Okay. Yeah, unless it boosts their magic or something, then it's probably a little bit of an upgrade. And then let's also see if we have any obsolete equipment on these guys. Definitely bracelet, definitely gauntlets for Cecil. I am 2 stages delayed on that one. And let's do armor for the king. Alright, so 1 armor, 1 gauntlets. And then I know one of them doesn't have the gold hairpin, is what that actually is. Yeah, so it's a Rosa that needs one. And let's do... Yeah, let's sort those, give her those mute arrows. So wherever we're going, we're probably going to want those. Alright. Ooh, good bonus on damage, too. Forgot about that. So, Diamond. Yeah, that's pretty good. And Diamond. Excellent. Okay. So I think we're all pretty much good to go there. Diamond is forever. Yeah, we've gone to the dwarf version of K Jewelers. They're every kiss begins with K. Who are the Diamonds Are Forever? No, Diamonds Are Forever is Bond. I like that one. Yeah, we've come this far, so you might as well have everything. I believe I want to save some money for the Cave of Summon Monsters, which looks like that's probably is where we're going to go first. Actually, I will do Sealed Cave up to Light Sword, and just get that one to give Cecil some more damage going into the other caves. And I'll also show off a trick that some of you may not know. This one weird trick to make trap monsters a lot less obnoxious. Not bad. Not bad at all. What if this count as flying for the purposes of ranged attacks? It doesn't look like it, though. So, that worked out. Enemies are just worth a lot of XP at this point. Alright, so I think they said that this one was... Yeah, I think the cave off on its own is the one to... is the sealed cave. Nope, that's Summon Monsters, okay. This is one of the fun enemies because they can basically... you can kind of farm them forever. As they just kill the stuff they summon and not the actual conjurer themselves, and there you go. Yeah, the reason why I always find Summon Monster is one of the ones for that's tougher monster-wise is just how much damage the things here do. Ooh, nice! Those count as casters for purpose of... good to know. I don't think they actually ever cast any spells besides summoning their allies, but... Yeah, bottom is a sealed cave, right. Micro South America is Summon Monsters. Yeah, and the dwarf reminded me that the northwesternmost is the Sylph Cave, but I know we're going to want to go there to do the event with Yang. So, yep, sealed cave first. So you'd think with Golbez trying to force his way open, we'd run into him out here, but apparently not. Alright, so save again. In we go. And yeah, we can come back anytime until we beat the boss and get the crystal. Then interesting things will happen. I think we could probably pick this lock with a carrot. No? Okay. If we're going to be that way. Plus this will also get rid of a slot in the inventory too, I think. So the theme of this dungeon is doors. It's probably the easiest one in terms of the level of the monsters you're running into. I think I just remembered, I don't think you can ever exit from this cave, whether or not the special event has happened. But yeah, so the gimmick with trapdoors is that they lock in on one of your characters, and then they kill him. And if you do enough damage to him, then it will just be replaced with a regular monster that you have to do the whole thing over again. That's really fast, too. Even Cecil's power of the occult doing 666 damage wasn't enough to save the day. We're going to bring him back. Yes, they are actually vulnerable to stop. They're vulnerable to stop? What? I wonder if they only changed that for the DS version. Well, never mind then. Welp. I was this one weird trick and I was thwarted. Let's see. Let's do virus instead. Who needs him? I thought sure they were vulnerable to that. See, we're gonna have a... I also forgot how much HP these things have, too. Okay, in that case, we're gonna come back for this one later. Because if that trick doesn't actually work, then it's not really worth the hassle of actually fighting them. And yeah, you can treat the whole thing as a kind of, boss rush thing and heal up after each fight. And it's not that bad, but if we come back with Reflect, unless that doesn't work in this version either. Anyway, let's do a Cure 2 on... I'm starting to get up into Cure 3 territory. How much damage is Cure 3? That is a full heal. Okay. Alright, let's grab some goodies. Ooh, a longsword for or a katana, I think that was in the full version. Bats. Screw bats. Let's see, are they vulnerable to fire like everything else is? Let's try to hit one with that. Then I'm just going to bail back out and use a tent at Summon Monsters. Let's see. I think we'll have... Okay, so arrows work okay, but you'd think that'd be a little more effective. Let's see. What about fire? Well, how does fire do? That's probably about her regular damage nowadays. With how, okay, so Kain can still do it. Rosa just doesn't quite have the damage output to take care of them, even with that damage bonus. There we go. Okay, let's try. So that will let me try wall on the next one. In that case, I'll go ahead and stick it out a bit longer. I always remembered having to grind a little bit before I got before I got reflect. You know, typically before Summon Monsters. So I don't know what I'm doing differently this time, especially since I haven't really been taking any time out to fight more than I need to. Matter of fact, I've been running from enemies on whenever I had to backtrack. Okay, so... Oh, I should probably have lowered the game speed to get this to work right. Okay, so hit Kain. This whole part doesn't really matter. But basically, what you can do is you get it to Rose's turn, and when he hits somebody, or when he searches for somebody, okay, in this case, Rydia. So, yeah, at least in some versions of the game, the attack is actually reflectable and will kill the trapdoor. There we go. So my other one weird trick didn't work, but this one weird trick works. So now let's have her bring him back. We'll have Cecil heal. That should be enough to take care of things. Oh, he is such a bad healer. So it's in here. More trapdoors. Exactly, yeah, I talked about that in an earlier stream, Keen, that the hard version was easier in this part because you could use, lunar curtains, I think they're called, and just get the item version. So anybody could do this. I guess I should try stealing from them while I'm at it. You know, why not? I guess I might as well. Don't want to edge him miss out on the XP. And of course, just to make sure you give him more time, as soon as you see him take his turn, hit the button to ramp your menu, so it won't count against your ATB. And then wait. It's so much fun. And you can see the multiplied XP in action for having a party member dead. I gotta say, the first time getting through here, because the game is easy enough, at your first time getting through here, and it's like you never really had... that was always Zane's favorite creature. Yeah, exactly. It is a door. Yeah, it is a trapdoor, yeah, exactly. What more can you say about it? Let's try stealing from it. Cecil's is the worst because he takes so much HP to get back up. Failed. Okay. And no surprise there. I guess Phoenix Downs are cheap enough too that no harm in using those up. some water. Wait. Edge again. Even the trapdoors hate Edge. And done. Is anybody out there kind of like reaching back through time and face palming at their teenage self about about not knowing this easy way of dealing with them? I think, and I want to say, the empty rooms there are a reference to Final Fantasy II, that was kind of notorious for having rooms that were nothing but an empty. They were basically just empty rooms, but they would jack up the encounter rate in those rooms, and you wouldn't know they were empty until you went a little ways into them. So they were just a nasty trap. Zane did know to reflect. Okay. Yes, yeah, it's like the most jerk DM creature ever, right? Let's see. I believe you want to. I think like this doesn't actually. Yeah, first one doesn't actually go anywhere. Okay. There's the Phoenix down. Replace some of those a little bit. Oops. He starts rappelling down. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. So we're waiting for all of the enemies to get done with their slow animations. The rest of you have a good weekend, if you weren't here on Sunday for Awakened Fate. How was a wide world of watching the Olympics and Lorax's case and streaming for other people and all that stuff? Why don't I get a life? Aw. I play video games on the internet, Zane. That's why I don't have a life. I guess when I'm thinking about it, let's have a peep on these guys and see what they're weak to. Oh, clearly spears. I know these are weak to fire, although I guess it's probably good to check. 2000 HP, fire, sacred. Okay, makes sense. Burn the witch, who was also a vampire. Okay. Oh, that must have been a counterattack. That was a lot of damage. Oh, but maybe not, though, since... Weird. I thought sure with the back-to-back vampires that one of those was a counter hit, but... even monster ladies just can't stand Edge. Tier 2 drap. I know I've mentioned before, but every time the music keeps playing a little bit longer, so know you're about to get something, and then ends up being, trash drop, like those things. Oh. Okay, so heal up, and heal Edge. yeah, Zane, you were there for Awakened Fate a little bit. You mentioned furry bowling. How is that different from regular bowling? Everybody's in costume, I'm guessing. More traps. Yeah, I don't know if it's even possible to steal from them because they're one-off enemies. It's like once you're done with them, they don't ever come back. Revive him. Oh, not neither. Either on Cecil would be kind of a waste. And most of the people are right. And there we go. Cecil again. Dude. And let's get a Cure 2, why not? Okay. Save me some time having to bring up the menu again. It's the little things I try to do for you all. Try to keep things moving. This is great for levels, too. I hadn't remembered how much XP you got from those stupid trapdoors, but the fact that gave us so many levels going into the proper dungeons, it'll work out pretty well. Speaking of ethers, I guess I'm going to need to give Rosa one soon. I know the light sword is coming up. Oh, whoops. When is Wayne going to? That's what, Summer Games done quickly? The SG. Man, I can't do anything quickly. There has been a part of me ever since I was in one tournament, one fighting game tournament, way back in the day. This was for Soul Blade on the PlayStation. That kind of gives you an idea. We're talking like 1999, I think. And I was there for one of those, and it was actually okay. You know, it was kind of fun. But I have just never been into the gaming scene, even on a small town. You know, small town level, it just wasn't that interesting to me. Oh, this might be it actually. And Kane. Kane was the unlucky victim that time. Perfect. All right, so Lightbringer, Bringer of Dawn. So, it has a 20 points bonus to attack and counts as sacred. It is absolutely worth the trip. And we can't exit out of this one, can we? Nope, okay. So we're just going to have Rydia warp her way back. That being said, I do have a lot of respect for people that do the big gaming speedrun events and stuff. I know we've talked before about you could admire people. Basically, there's a couple different ways of watching people play games online, and some of it's for the entertainment value. Some people are just funny. Some people have, you know, interesting things they kind of bring to the table. This is the first room, isn't it? I almost warped out of it. But yeah, for some of them, it's just watching a master of their craft at work, and even if the craft happens to be video games. So the deal with summon monsters is, I think this is optional until later, but we might as well do it now. We have Reflect on Rosa. We are in position to do all of the content in Summon Monsters, and Land of Summon Monsters. And there's also some good swag to get on your way there too. Okay, everybody, make sure everybody's at full. Yep. All right. Oh, thanks, Rydia. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and put her. How is it? How's it go? It's right bumper, right? Yeah, there we go. So right. Actually, on the emulator, I'm not used to watching this on an emulator, so I'm actually, whoa, okay. Right, this is actually really bad. Okay, that wasn't too much damage. Let's go cast Float after all. But yeah, that's a big reason to have the Light Sword. It does a lot of damage, and it's a very useful attack type. Oh, she's weak to fire. Good to know. Oh, I think she's weak to arrows, actually. Cure. Well, that was terrible. But yeah, what I was starting to say was that I'm not used to watching this on an emulator, a little bit of a distance, so I actually didn't see those orange tiles that are covered in acid, and that's what was going on there. Let's see. We'll just do this one to undo all that damage. Good enough. Cecil pretty much never needs his MP for anything. We're going to want to go... Oh, if that's the exit, then let's grab the rest of the stuff first. Here too. Then I saw a invisible wall up here, or invisible corridor up here. Yeah, and once you've gotten... And this is a fun one too for the DS version, is that once you've gotten the float going, the Arachne can't actually hurt you. So it's a good one to have Rosa just pray back up to full health and MP if you really want to, if you really need to do that kind of thing. Yeah, Keen says something that, yeah, I absolutely agree with. You know, really liked this dungeon for that effect they have of where you can see the lower floors as you work your way down. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a really cool thing. There we go. Kane just came up a little bit short that time. Once you get to, and you all probably saw this with me misgauging the HP on the wow, back to back, with me misgauging the HP on the trapdoors. This is the part of the game where enemies really start to get a huge jump in HP. You really have to focus fire more often. You have to balance your teamwork more often. It's not. It doesn't actually. It's not hard. I don't think this game ever really gets hard per se, but yeah, it definitely gets trickier. It's like, yeah, that's about, what's it, 1,500? That's 2,000 damage worth right there, I think. And that's on a mage too. That's on an enemy you don't expect to be all that durable. Yeah, so it's like the 3,000. They were around 3,000 HP on the conjurers. I know the Arachne have about 4,000 HP. And of course, if you can take advantage of your Pokemon type matches, you'll make that damage back up. But okay, back up, and I think his Cure 2 heals about 300. So anybody who's less than that might as well. If they have to go through the hassle of pulling the menu up, might as well top everybody off while I'm there. And I think the acid floors do 50 points per tile. So if you didn't figure out you needed to float here, the first time you enter a random encounter after crossing that row and back, and Rydia being dead, is probably your cue. Nice. Okay. Gives us a chance to just unload on this dude. As a matter of fact, that being the case, well, actually, with a never mind. The imp, it's great. I'd actually forgotten that they can summon imps. It'd be cool if it was a guaranteed drop of the imp summon whenever she does that. Such a lowly foe, our black mage can kill you in a standard action. So disappointing, the low drop rates in this game. There's basically nothing you can do to make up for them. Arachne ambush. Well, let's see. The only person who actually cares about Roe with this team is Cecil, in fact. So yeah, I think I'll just have everybody do their thing until it comes around to him. I guess I could have had Kane just attack instead of jump. Oh, wow. Yeah, in that case, Kane would have ended it there with a regular attack. Yeah, I really like the roll to summon, roll to 1. Yeah, the conjurers just have you have to roll a d20 for their monsters. There's ones, I think I think they can only spawn on the lowest floor too, that have the I think they call them the Ging Ryu in this one, and I have no idea what. I think they're like lesser blue dragons or something. But yeah, they are a pretty nasty one to get to the summoner to summon, because then you can just be drowning in those things if you're not careful to deal with them first. Okay, so this one, I think it's it's been so long since I played this far into it. Should really be having Rydia use her MP more. I say as I queue up yet another Dancing Dagger. Rock Moth. So I think this time we'll have... Yeah. So in that case, since I did die, we'll just have Kane attack. Yeah, Light Sword definitely bringing Cecil's damage output back at 12 expect. Yeah, Thunder Dragons! Yeah, that was it. Fresh from River City Ransom, the Dragon Twins. But yeah, they are tough customers. And they have a full party lightning attack, which the diamond equipment will reduce, I believe, assuming that's coded in. Oh, another rune bracelet. Let's see. I think, yeah, there we go. That wasn't the exit. Yeah, these dungeons are so short that it's not too much of a problem if you forget which way's which. Okay, that's the way out. Did I miss any treasure? I probably did, but I don't think it's important. And now that I know that those two can pretty much Edge and Kane can pretty much take care of the Arachnes with their ranged, I guess they're arrow type melee attacks. Speaking of Fire Emblem, wouldn't that be a fun one for the weapon triangle? You have spears that count as arrows for that. So I don't know if that would actually do anything. I don't think arrows ever fit into the paradigm. I'm sure there are some games where people actually use archers in there, but I haven't seen anybody do that in a while. Do that. Cecil change rows. And the first time I played Final Fantasy V, I think I mentioned this one too, that I played Final Fantasy V for the first time recently. And, oh no, my mage has been blinded. And in that one, it's like a character's only changed their own row, which makes sense when you've got people that, you know, want to have certain row preferences and everything. But it did take some getting used to. And actually, you know, I've got a... See, he's just going to take care of that. Yeah, I think it's safe to have Rydia start doing the MP. Keen thinks the newest Fire Emblem completely redid the weapon triangles and everything. Bows now do fit into it, with more specialized weapons like dagger, shuriken, and other weapons. Yes, true. Yeah, the thief types, so daggers are always kind of their own thing too. Right. Let's see. Should I? Yeah, I don't. Blind is a print of no consequence to Rydia. Okay, cure. That one. And one more. For good measure. My approach takes care of all of Cecil's NP. There we go. Oh, all that for a Cure 2 potion. I think if I do another random encounter, I'm probably just going to run on the way back. This is an Arachne. No fighting for backtracking. This sounds pretty interesting, though. Of course, you know, 3DS, so who knows when I'm ever going to get around to playing it. Another floor, another float. That's another thing that's really easy to throw yourself off, too, is having to recast float every time. And in the Sylph Cave especially, because, yeah, you change floor so often in there. Okay, there's where we need to go. But first we have to go around. Around up and down. Here we go. Yeah, there are some pretty tough encounters on the bottommost floor to actually adventure to. This has definitely got my attention. Let's see. The gremlins are a particular problem, because I think they can use Confuse, though so far they're just attacking. Jeez. Best bet here. Cecil's probably going to go down no matter what I do. So how about... Charm is single target only, right? Oh yeah, and then call Titan. Always be calling Titan. Okay. Then nobody proceeds to attack Cecil. I believe that the warriors, whatever they're called. Okay, no, there he goes. Work through his blink. They all survived that. Great. Well, looks like only one of them counterattacked at least. Okay, so you survived that. They all survived that. Weird. I thought that Titan would have worked better in that one. Food time for Zane. All right, we'll see when you get back. How about... Does Mist Dragon count as holy in this version? Let's find out. I have a feeling one of them is probably going to hit Cecil any minute now. Yeah. So that'll take care of that. Yeah. When I was talking about how the fights in this one could be hard, I was thinking specifically of this fight. And I think there's a trap chest that has an arrangement of these guys too. Nothing. Wonderful. I'm going to bet that they're going to count as mages. Nothing happened. Okay, one down. Any luck? Rosa should be able to take care of that one. Okay, they do count as mages, but... Okay, so next time I fight a group of the gremlins, I'm going to need to be... weak against ice. I'm going to need to cast Mute on them first. I can definitely tell that. Am I worthwhile edge casting with ninja spells here? Yeah, you are. Yeah, I'm thinking that's exactly right. Okay, we'll switch back to the Ice Spear. Go after him. Yeah, I think having Rosa mute them and then having the full party spells would probably be the way to do it. There's a bunch of misses on their team for that one. Okay. So... yeah, seeing them weak to ice him weak to ice made me think of, hey, maybe I should try that on them, but no, that's not it. I don't think they're weak to anything. Except counting as mages. So if I had the Mage Masher from Sylph Cave, that would also work. Here's them. Oh, 1 point of damage. I definitely need to do some triage after this one. Yeah, they just have a lot of HP. You wouldn't think it too, because they're kind of like mook type enemies. You fight them in large groups, but they're pretty. They're pretty durable. Okay. Oof. So yeah, next time, do not underestimate them, and mute first, then full party. At least it was worth a lot of XP though.